dentistry. Everybody wants painless dentistry, and they want, uncompromising results. Every now and then we have what I call a perfect product. One thing that comes to my memory is a sectional matrix system that we launched a long time back. And believe me, it was for your patrons of your composite class 2s, MODs. Today, after 30 years, dentists remember me because they say, you taught me how to use the sectional matrix. Such a single ball that was launched, it changed the whole sphere of adhesives in opposite. Similarly, without exaggeration, this BlancOne technology that we're going to talk about today is something probably 10 years ahead of the show, because it's all about the photochemistry, the fastest placing system in the world today, and most importantly, pain-free and absolutely easy to use. So this, I heard Giuseppe at the IDC Chennai. We just come back from the Indian Day to come this Chennai. The hall was full, the questions were many, and it was really an exciting time. So before I introduce Giuseppe, I just want to talk about our partners. We have Sedec Dental Lab here from Bangalore, Dr. Prashant LST. He's there. We have Vikas Tupta. He doesn't need an introduction. One of my first dealers in India in 3M, biopharma distributors. So Vikas is here with us. And we have the entire BlancOne global marketing team. We have Erica, we have Georgia. They're all very excited to be here in India for this is their first visit to India. They're extremely excited to be here. And thank you once again for being. I'll just quickly introduce Giuseppe. And we have Dr. Arun Suraj also, who's just on his way. He'll talk about the Indian perspective because he's been using this for the last 6 to 8 months. My proud privilege to introduce Professor Giuseppe. We call him professor, but he's a general professor, the most liked human being that we've seen around, a very nice person, and very passionate about his aesthetic dentistry. So Professor Giuseppe Lipani has got his master's degree in oral medicine and dentistry for patients at risk. It's a very specialized profession. On the University of Palermo, master's degree with an honors in doctorate.
But we need to realize the customer straight, and the patients has to put for a couple of weeks. So this is not so good because not all people, not all patients want to spend all this time. That's just the patients that are very motivated to do that. The other question is it painful? And we know that the most common side effect of dental whitening is the tooth sensitivity. And so said yes, maybe you have to take an analgesic, or if you do all whitening, you have to suspend and to repeat when they ask you whether or not. So all this explanation makes to the mind of the patients pushing on it on the rationality way. And we know from marketing that if you want to sell something, you have to push on the emotional way. So on this example, too many complications. So all the motivated patients would do this kind of treatment. So thanks to the BlancOne technology, we know that everyone desires the right smile. So thanks to BlancOne CLICK, this is a new technology, we have the possibility to realize the patient's desires to have a wider smile in just 10 minutes. So we can take profit by the emotional wave of the moment. Because at the end of professional oral hygiene, the patient asks me, I want to have a brighter teeth. Is it possible? Yes, we can do now in just 10 minutes. So I don't have to schedule an extra appointment. So I push on the emotional way. It's an example is when you go, I don't know, in a restaurant, and maybe you just bring some dish, and they tell you, do you want a glass of wine? It's just upselling product, and this is pushing on an emotional way. It's important. So we can take profit from that, but at the same time, we give high customer satisfaction too. We know that, I don't know here, but in Italy, I operate in a competitive market. So the best way is not just to sell something at a lower price, because otherwise Apple iPhone was not sold because it's the most expensive that we have on the market. But which is the difference? The difference is the service that you give to the patients. So if you give in your dental clinics more services, means that you give more quality. So that is important in the healthy vision that we have in our job. So we can say that everything starts with the click treatment. So you must be careful about the high percentage, and at the same time you must be careful about that contact type too. So at the moment as it is, no conventional whitening treatment escapes from this fault. So we know that the most common blue active ingredient in teeth whitening are carbon peroxide or UR peroxide and hydrogen peroxide. So we know that once both well, but in the different way, because carbon peroxide needs more time to release free radical from oxygen. So we need from 2 to 4 hours. And the concause is long contact times. So yes, acid pH is important, but it's not so much like contact times. So if we see in these graphics, the conventional power bleaching are high concentration of hydrogen peroxide and the long contact tally. So we are here in the red area. The same things for cosmetic bleaching. Is a lower concentration of hydrogen peroxide, but you need the pore type. So more risk of dehydration and that's a hypersensitivity. So now upon the researchers has developed a new product that reacts on the photochemistry, because we know that photochemical reaction it's more powerful than the chemical or thermochemical reaction. So in that case, in the gel, in the BlancOne whitening gel, you find the carbon peroxide, 16%, so it's the same of all whitening, but inside that you will find the photosensitizers, that these photosensitizers are activated from the Arcus blue light. So the photon of blue light reacts with this one and makes a big energy, state of energy that develop oxygen singular. Oxygen singular takes more power and the free radical of oxygen. With a high temperature, we have a peak of 39 degrees. And we know from the literature, if you go up or 5 degrees, you could damage the pulp chamber. So this is a gel with the photochemical activators. And as you can see, no change in temperature inside the pulp chamber because all the reaction is zero. So that's why important to use a gel, a photoactivated gel with a lamp. Without that, if you use a lamp just for marketing, it's a bad thing for the patient. It's perfect and you don't have any complication. I attend a lot of whitening courses before to do courses too, and all the speakers show beautiful cases with a beautiful smile. And I was so motivated to start to propose teeth whitening. But on Monday, yeah, I'm a lucky person. This was my first patients. Doctor, I want my teeth whiter. And I always said that I cannot do anything without any disadvantages because you have gum recession, abrasion, and all these cases. So it makes bleaching a treatment accessible to everyone. This was picture made by my phone, but because this was one of my first cases, because I started to use this kind of system since 2000 to have the fact that this kind of treatment to polish what the teeth before. And use a comfortable mouth opener, a lip eye protection, use the right amount of the products because otherwise that's work. Right? Use the light power because our lights is the most powerful present for the markets because we need a lot of energy to make this kind of activation because the lab is just not like the catalyzer. It's for the reaction too. So, and I wait 10 minutes for black click and 80 minutes for black touch. Finish polishing it is necessary, so if you want just verify, we can do it after. And for the best result, it's only recommended to follow the manufacturer instruction. So that yes, this is all the procedures, and this is the practice. So the patients must have the positive experience to be able to request it over time. Now I have patients that every 4 months ask me a clear white session. Yeah. So I just did, for the first time to push it, but after that works a lot, this system. So you don't have to do anything. I always considered the deep whitening treatment not only a cosmetic procedure, but a therapeutic procedure too. You know why? Because and in this research, they investigate the influence of deep whitening after or after oral hygiene, day after professional oral hygiene. So the same group as a complementary influence, the professional data pitching on the level of oral hygiene and serves as a significant motivation factor for maintaining aspect of oral quality. So this is the reason why I showed you before the periodontal patients, because when I manage all the control of the plaque and everything, I propose this kind of a treatment to push in a better compliance for the patients to maintain a post-oral algae. I'm next. So just important how to use the lens. Hypersensitivity, so it just 94 beats. And this is another case that without the innovative BlancOne technology, I wouldn't have been able to interpret because the patients ask their old dentist to make a brother smile, but always the dentist advised against of this treatment and I believe because she has a lot of problems. Here we have a gum resistance abstraction, where presents with a loss of an anapod here and here. But the patients asked me to have a greater teeth in a conservative way. I know that the best way is to make better veneers, but it's not for all. So we have to just realize that the desire of the patients in a conservative way. So I decided to use BlancOne Touch because was very sensitive. Another important thing from the anamnestic that the patients is any smoker patients, and we know that deep whitening works well in a smoker patients. So it's not a genetic factor or conditions. So in office leaching put was why. So after 3 sessions, we had the 10 shades of the program, and the patient was very happy without any disadvantages. Yes, sure, I explained to the patients before that we could not expect miracles, because we start from here, and it just pre-session, we cannot arrive here, but still change of improvement is a lot. The sessions you pick 3 sessions continuously. Yes, in just no. So 1 session, 3 cycles. Okay, right. So this was before I had all the structure of the animal. So like a match on the animal surface. So it's important that we had the same protocol for the BlancOne CLICK, but in that case it's important to apply the gingival barrier well to avoid any side effect on the gums. So this is a video because how to put gingival barrier, and the gel is very easy to apply, and you can do both arches in the same time with the browser. But they very heat, so let us now. And we can photo activate with a little lighter. We just get photo activated up the pulp. It's photo after the gel because we can have just a restriction after the photopolymerization. So we just check and after, and this is at the end. So it's very easy and comfortable. So this was a case or a patient of 70 years old that for her 70th birthday want to have a brighter smile. So I propose to her Ultra Plus, and this was the final results. Before and after we reached A1, B1 because I used the Hitec 3D Masters. So, and this was the final result. Very beautiful smile. And this was another textbook case in a patient of 27 years old. He has a lot of bad habits like smoking, drinking wine, and everything. So we reached 0.1, so less than B1. This was a monochromatic view. I have a follow-up too, because the patients went for the Erasmus program in Colombia. So he started to drink a lot of Colombian coffee, started smoking cigarette too, and everything. So when he came back, where they came back after 1 year, this was the situation. But if you see in the pitch guide scale, he just lost 4 shades. So coffee, he was a 7. And so I decided to refresh power bleaching with the Guinea wax session. So with the BlancOne CLICK, I was to manage to refresh and to take the efficiency at the initial condition of brightness spike, so 0.5. This was another textbook case with the P application, and here we have P12, and you see the difference in brightness in monochromatic view, and we reach the finished shades. So this is a patient's smoker patient. I showed you before his picture, but was a clean white session to refresh it. And so this was the brightness near to 6.6. After 1 year follow-up, and there was the picture showing you before, was 7. So he lost just 2 shades. And with the cleaner wax session, this was the final result. So I usually do for once power itching, and after used to refresh it with the Cloud Part 3. So the patient does always a good smile. So this was a very complicated case to manage because the patient changed the previous doctor, and he went a lot of doctor because he want to have a private smile without a prosthetic solution. So it was very difficult. And so the first thing, and this was the condition with a lot of the guy, and here was no bite of teeth, so very complicated situation. The first thing I saw was the smile line of the patients, and fortunately, we have low smile line and not candy smile, because otherwise it was impossible to manage this condition with if whitening or other fix. The only way was a prosthetic solution. So I propose first to use ultra, like Power Vichy, to treat all the disc, and BlancOne touch at the same times, because I wanted to uniform the color from teeth before to do a conservative treatment. So first step, I did the Ultra Plus for all teeth. The next step to the second one, at first step, I tried the Ultra Plus only on no vital teeth, and the other one I used the touch because this is like a barrier for the other teeth, so less intensive result. And this was the first final result. I had 8 shades of improvement, both, but still we have this difference in brightness body. But was a good point to start to make, yes, this is before and after, was a good point to start to make a conservative treatment. So this was the final, and I show you in a programmatic view. Okay. Now we started with the conservative treatments with my friend Vincenzo Bullo from Siracusa in Spiral Town. And this was the final result at the end of 3 months. But we started to still solve this kind of problem. The patients wanted to do own widening treatment too. So I just did a customized tray and applied the product only in this teeth. And this was the final result after 3 weeks of treatment. And now, so this was before, and this was after. Oh, sorry. Sure. And now we are still working with the prosthetic brown on the premolar side and all the other conditions. So in just a conservative way, we solved and we managed this problem. So work in progress, see work in progress. We can use this kind of a treatment to treat no vital teeth too. These patients have no vital teeth with a lot of sclerotic dentin. When asked the questions to smile, this was the result. The patients didn't know how to smile. So I used the Ultra class and I put the product in the vestibular side and in the pulp chamber too. You can activate with the light cure just for 1 minute or 2 minutes, depends. And you can eat for 3 minutes to 3 minutes to eat. And at the end, you remove and you repeat this application for 3 times. And this was the final result after in-office bleaching. And I decided to manage it with the working bleach technique. So that's why I put technique. So I put all night with 12% of carbonate peroxide inside. And I put temporal filling. And I changed the product every 5-7 days. And this was the final result. I wanted to refine it with a customized tray, but the patient was so happy about the final result, so she decided to start with the other dental treatment before to do that. This was a case of Dr. Aro. Do you want to talk about this in your presentation? You can. Yeah, a little bit enough. So this was managed by just in-office technique. So please to 2.1. So he covered all and isolated the outsides, and he put the gel outside and inside the pack chamber too. He activated the gel for P-cybots, and this was after 24 minutes of application. This was the final result. And I show you better. Amazing. So this is the protocol that if you want to take a picture, as you can do in office technique or what in bleaching.
No, that's all. The innovation is in what? Photosensitivity.
All the light. Yeah, in the photosensitizer that presents inside the jar.
And what about the light?
The light, you need a very powerful light to work. Peroxide uses. So higher is the percentage, higher is the risk to have hypersensitivity. So another problem is the decrease of roughness about the enamel, and it's more common in all whitening treatment than in office treatment because the gel stays on the enamel surface for overnight for a couple of weeks. So for that reason, it's not indicated when we had before the treatment, treatments condition like dental hypersensitivity, white spot lesion, and the other condition of demineralization of the presence of residuals too. But I am here to talk not about the problem, but find the solution. And the BlancOne research has developed a very useful product with the aim of solving the main problems related to home bleaching. So giving to the professional and the patients versatile products with a safe and with a significant reduction in treatment time. And I show you some cases. This is another patented product because we have the special mechanism of action that we call the tooth rejuvenation. So inside the gel there are special vitamin boosters. So we have vitamin D and vitamin K, and that we know that this kind of vitamin works in the oxidative environment. Like vitamin K we can find in the liver, or vitamin D reacts with the sunlight. Okay, so this vitamin reacts with the calcium and phosphate ions, and so develop an extractory regenerative environment. So promotes the apposition of an nanodosyapatite present inside the child. So thanks to this technology, we can bleach the tip, and at the same time we can regenerate it. So we have no tooth sensitivity, low risk, because the nano hydroxyapatite occludes dentinal tuberous. So inside this gel you will not find nitratium potassium nitrate or other desensitizers. Another important thing is that he prove the teeth whitening treatment for the biomimetic effects of the apposition of the nano-hydroxyapatite. To understand the mechanism, I share with you this case where we had these patients with stained teeth, a lot of gum resistance, and at the same time we have his demineralization present on the animal surface. So in just 2 weeks of treatment overnight with the home nights, we started from 3 and 2, and we arrived to sepsis. So I had 7 shades of treatment improvement, breathless improvement. But if you see how the manual and micro textures improves, because the linearization reduced a lot, or thanks to this regenerative system. And I had a 1 year follow-up of these patients. So it was a bit before and after. And this is after 1 year follow-up before the professional hygiene. As you can see, no change in brightness value. I show you with the sample tip. You see, we started from 3 and 2. We reached 1 and 1.5, and we are still in 1 and 1.5. So it's easy when we have healthy fascists, but we have these patients too, with a lot of problem. Sterile tip, animal fracture, a fraction that are hypersensitivity. So tested with these products in just 2 weeks from 4, and you see the brown spot in monochromatic view reduced a lot. So this in just 10 months. This was another case with the difference to discoloration. And on premolars, we had the prosthetic crowds with a different coloration because the technicians brought the teeth color. So they asked the engineer to solve this kind of problem. And in just 20 nights, we just put deharmonize all this money, all money. And you see 12 shades of difference. I put to get more because otherwise I was, wider than the prosthetic pranks. I had a 2 years follow-up, so these patients. So this was the condition in October 2022, and here we are February 2024. No change in brightness value. So be stable the result, the final result. So this is a case of tetracycline. We know from the literature that the drugs could make some tooth discoloration. This was from low to moderate discoloration from tetracycline treatment because he had to put through brucellosis when he was very young. And this was the initial. We see here premolar canal was very dark to gray. So I made the customer straight. I did home nights for 315 hours. So it's like 45 nights because we know that to treat this condition, we need a long time. So I show you the final result. This was the final result. I reached the canals, 80 shades of improvement, and 40 shades in deep sizers. I showed you better before and after. This was before and after. And the patient was very happy because she didn't know how to manage these problems. So initial situation and after 45 days. And you see, and this was is my the same percentage of chemical was loaded in on a speak or the speak to each. I started from caries to premolar and that continues for all the teeth. So before I waited the caries came at the silver tooth gradation membraneous body of the incisors, and after I started to preach all the teeth. Is because I spent 2 weeks for the caries to become like incisors, and after the other 30 nights, so another 1 month of treatment for all the teeth. So this was another discoloration from genetic factor 2, and the initial value was 20, and this is after 2 weeks of treatment was 8. And you see this band was a dark band, and there was whiter in the cervical parts, and like his appearance. So this was the smile before and after, and let's see. So we can use, we can perform GIF whitening during the orthodontic eye treatment. We have a specific product that it's a BlancOne. It's a lower concentration of carbamide peroxide, just 7%. So release just 2.4 of hydrogen peroxide, as a double concentration in non-osteopathites with the vitamin booster. So the animal is correct. The goal is to regenerate the teeth after orthodontic treatment or during. So this was a case that were at the end of orthodontic treatment. She was next to marriage, so asked me to have brightness teeth, and we just used the same of orthodontic retainer. This was the final result after 2 months of treatment, because we don't have the time. It's not a problem because the patients has to take the orthodontic retainer every night, so we can work slowly. So this was the permission, and for 4 weeks she put the gel only on canals and premolar, and for the other 4 weeks in all the teeth. And this was the final results. I show you. Okay, before and after. And we placed inside the tip the orthodontic button too, because the gel couldn't do that. So before and after, when we removed it, after that we started to bleach the lower arch, and this was the final results. So before, after, and when he removed the orthodontic. This was another one of 20 years old cases after removing the back orthodontic brackets. So you can see better here. I was the premolar and the canine with a lot of demineralization, and using this kind of product, we improved the brightness, but at the same time, the marble micro texture of animal surface. So we have the 60 shades of improvement carrots and 10 shades of improvement in incisors. So the last one is BlancOne Fast, is hydrogen peroxide, 6 passets. So you don't need to stay overnight. You just need 45 minutes to activate the product. So you can manage not sustain the teeth, or you can refresh bleaching treatment, or you can combine it with in-office bleaching too to refine it. So this was the initial situation, and at the end of the treatment, we had 10 shades of improvement. So before and after. So I told you before, it's just 6% of hydrogen peroxide. So the last one is just to share with you this case that was a patient of 69 years old, was very scared about the dentist and the dentist treatment. And she suffered of this terrible defect for more than 50 years. So I, and obviously the best solution was a prosthetic solution, but professionals didn't want to do that. So we tried with the tip widening. And during the evaluation, I saw that the product was on the opposite side, because the patients was heavy smoker patients too. So I realized that the customer stayed with the Palatine tag because I wanted that the gel stayed on the opposite side too. And this was the result after 40 nights. And I show you better before and after. After that, the patients decided to improve her aesthetic of a smile because it was more confident about the dentist. So, and this was the result at the end of the treatment. See before and after. And then you had the 2 years follow-up. So was he had the initial condition and after 2 years, he had just the needle accident with the fork. So before to make a conservative, I decided to refresh the treatment with the BlancOne fast. So just 45 weeks for 2 weeks. And this was the final result. So, in conclusion, it's always necessary to point out to the patients that the search for the perfect smile cannot stop just on the shades of the teeth, but it's a set of several elements, teeth, gums, and lips. So that sometimes to meet the aesthetic needs of the patients, we are to intervene in corporates to harmonize that. That's the reason why a lot of the time patients start with their teeth whitening and after asking me for no treatment or for a prosthetic solution. Or patients start with orthodontic treatment and after ask me for teeth whitening. So we can say that the success of the treatment is not just about getting a lot of bleaching in terms of shades, but making the patients happy by evaluating a few aspects, final result, time available, and cost. So with this it was the last slide. I want to say thank you. This was the picture of BlancOne India team during the Kilnag operates. So thank you for your attention. If you are there questions, the brightness value has been showing before and after. Calculate your brightness values. My dot, you know which scale I use it. I use the Beta Master Wishtikaria. Okay, this one because it's easier to evaluate the brightness because the Beta Classic just take the chroma into account, the chroma of the tip, and we know that the eye perception it's the brightness is more important than the value. So grayscale is more important. Okay.
First, there, I will study it.
Because cases because does not damage the animal surface and no hypersensitivity. So and reacts well because the fluorosis animal it's very porous, so works well than animal the healthy animal that's no porosis. Okay.
Incubation is 180% seriable. You use this. Then listen me.
No, no, no. I performed the more than 1,000 treatments. Everyone has a sensitivity after the tricky box.
Yeah, sure, push it for the last.
No, no. That's kind of treatment, no, because you are using low concentration of hydrogen peroxide because it's 16% of carbon dioxide, but release just 5.7. So very low for low contact types too. So
It's not easy, but it's a
no, the op you it's avoid for pregnant patients, for patients that have photobiological reactions with the lights. So patients that need takes drugs like antibiotics, it's better to postpone for 2 weeks, okay, at the end of the treatment. And for the fillers, filler lips, it's better to weeks because we know that hyaluronic acid needs time to fix in the lips. So I don't treat patients in the next 2 weeks, even for the professional oral hygiene, because we just put mouth organ cavity.
Why not? If that's the case.
Because no itching treatment is tested for this kind of condition. Okay?
Should be pages at all your seat by the boxes
What? Can you repeat that? Because I didn't hear.
should be placed only on the fluorescent stain part of your own.
Use.
So can't be even after the I
Maybe you can explain to the fascists that could appear more wider on the where there is white spots, but after 1 day it is stomach. Okay? So
There is a question after this.
after this, and for the no white diets, it's not necessary. No, it's not necessary white diets, right? Okay, it's not necessary. It's just to expand the patients to brush the teeth you want. That's it's the reason. But obviously, when you do read a white session for a professional cleaning, it's better you not drink coffee or smoke for 2-3 hours. Okay.
We can take more questions during lunch because we're running short of time. Thank you very much, Ruako, yeah. And there will be a light demo after lunch. So it's my proud privilege now to call upon Dr. Adol Suresh, firstly a good friend of mine for a long time, runs Aesthetic Village, which is a very, very prominent training skill enhancement center in Chennai. Of late, Dr. Arun Suraj has started his branch in Dubai, and he is the president of the Global Respirative and Aesthetic Dental Alliance at Dubai. So, very, very good at veneer work and aesthetic work. He is one of the few in India started using BlancOne at a very early stage, almost a year back. So, he's going to share the in-depth perspective of the cases that he's does. Yeah. So, welcome, Dr.
And now details is a master behind it. I learned a lot from him, so thank you so much for that. And my journey started 1 year back. Okay, so exactly a year back when I was in ADED, I saw him doing some demonstration live op patient, like on doctors especially, do the back to back. I was really impressed because I'm a person who does a lot of aesthetic dentistry, and for people who don't know me, I do a lot of veneers, composites, and I'm bleaching as well. So with bleaching, I always had the problem like we all usually have, right? What is it? The sensitivity and, the patient's post-op discomfort, the tissue reaction, all these things. So I was amazed to see there was nothing on any of the patients. So immediately I said, I want this in India. So they said, it's not possible. We need a dealer there. And then they connected me to a dealer, and that's how I got to meet these people from KCK, and I think I was the first one to get it launched in my clinic. And then my journey is 1 year. So with my 1 year of experience, I share it with you. And any questions, we can take it after that. So before I start about the product, I know I'm running late. You're all hungry. So we can a little fast, but we can stop you whenever you want. Okay? I'll go a little into the basics for the ones who don't do bleaching much in your practice. We have something called vital and non-vital bleaching, right? Vital is the tooth is vital, non-vital is post-endo, so we all know that. So vital bleaching is of two types. The traditional approach, what we do is professional bleach and home bleach. So with professional bleach, obviously we were all using hydrogen peroxide, and for the home bleach, we use carbamide peroxide. Even though you use carbamide peroxide, it breaks down, it releases hydrogen peroxide, and from there you get oxygen-free radicals, and that's how the bleaching takes place, right? So hydrogen peroxide, as you know, let's say how it works. Now you should understand how the bleach works. You all know where the stain is, right? Where is the stain? Where is the discoloration? Enamel or dentate? It's an intrinsic state. That's where we want to work on. Extrinsic states, we can just scale it, polish it on. So we are going to work on the intrinsic states, that which is on the date. So we want something to penetrate deep inside the enamel hit the day tip and, cause the lightening of the teeth. I call it teeth lightening rather than calling it teeth whitening. Okay, so that's what I tell my patients. Because any patient who walks into your practice, they just come with a Google image and they say, I wanted this white. Maybe once you download from Google, anything they were done with porcelain veneers will be shown as bleach. So this actually misguides patients. So I make it very clear with them. I tell them it is teeth lightening. I can lighten the shade. I cannot paint your teeth. You're not PT, right? So this is something I decide to make them understand before I even start procedure. So obviously we were using hydrogen peroxide and you should know how it works. Simple, when hydrogen peroxide is on the tooth, it breaks down, it releases oxygen, breaks down double carbon bonds to single carbon bonds. Just that larger particle size is broken down to smaller particle size. And the moment it gets single carbon bonds, these single carbon bonds can reflect lights, they can reflect light because they're smaller in size, they reflect light, they are so translucent that light passes through. And because their size becomes so small, it is easily diffused through the pores. That is how you see the tooth getting light. Okay, it's very simple. So how we break it from a larger particle size to smaller particle size, this image we explained it much better. Hydrogen peroxide on the tooth, oxygen free radicals hits higher molecular weight molecules, breaks them down, becomes lower molecular weight particles. And what happens? You don't see that. They just get invisible. Okay, because as I said, that smaller particle size can, reflect light, it becomes translucent. So it's, giving you a light appearance. So what was there in hydrogen peroxide? Every product, I know most of us were using, the Polaris, this was common in India. What we were using was about 35 to 40% of hydrogen peroxide. That's pretty more. Actually, I read through some article in Europe, I'm not sure about it. They have a limitation of hydrogen peroxide that should be in their, in their products. They have some regulations, not for the 10% of carbamide peroxide. So, then hardly similarly, so not for the 16 will. So hardly you can have the spots of hydrogen peroxide. Not for the 6% of IBE peroxide. Just imagine 30. What does carbamide peroxide do now? It breaks down to hydrogen peroxide and urea. And again, it breaks down to hydrogen peroxide. So you get 30% of hydrogen peroxide breaking down from carbamide peroxide. So let's say that the hydrogen peroxide percentage is coming low. So the post-op sensitivity and all the effects that you see is not much. So you kind of say, look, but only thing is you have to, the control is with the patient, that you give it to a tray, but then ask the patient to wear it. And an advantage in carbamide peroxide is what I want you to understand. It also breaks down the urea, 7 carbon dioxide. This will increase the pH value in your Hori cavity. So when the pH value increases, there is a reduction in the biofilm plaque as well. So that is actually an advantage, what they say to carbamide peroxide. But the only drawback is, you have to use it for 8 hours daily, again 3 hours daily, it goes for a week, right? So if you're giving a patient 5 to 8% of carbamide peroxide, you have to ask them to use it for 8 hours daily. If someone is not really going to wear it 8 hours daily, my experience, 17 years of my practice, I have tried it on many patients. Not even 4 or 5 patients that actually wore it for a week. I even tried it by just giving them the upper shoulder. After a week, come back, then I do the lower. You come 5 days, 6 days, once it gets the lower, I don't see my call. That's all. So this is how it works. So, we cannot follow up with our patients and try to understand whether it really worked or not. But of course, it's safe. Probably they won't complain about sensitivity and all those things. Okay, and the most recommended what we used to do is 3 to 4 hours the day. We tell them, this wear it, watch it, it was very short time. So that's when I spoke to him. He said, it's just 16% carbamide peroxide. My repeat customers, 60% carbamide peroxide. How is it going to work? Be here for a week. Ask them to wear it on and on. They said that's why what's there is the lights, intensity, the shopping order, the intensity of the lights, and also the photosensitizers that are there in the jet. Okay, within the carbamide peroxide. So this works. This is actually releasing sealant oxygen, and that is more effective than oxidatory variants. That's what he was talking about. So I thought, okay, let's try this. So I couldn't understand. I was asking them, I was the one reviewing that. Are you sure you have any sensitivity? Are you sure dystromium drums? I was like, for more than 1 hour, is good. So I don't know you remember me that I was like, yeah, galvanize. So that's how I got some confidence in it, and the moment I got it in mind, practice. I got understanding also with BlancOne Packs and BlancOne CLICK. Okay, just the volume varies. CLICK comes for 3 applications per patient. This comes for even more than that. So it has 10 to 60% chemical offset, 60% as he says. So less than 6% of IG cross. So I don't have tissue reactions. I want up most options. LEDs are there in it. Each emits a lot of intensity. And what I believe is the intensity. I mean the photosensitizers are modified in such a way that it will work for that it is. Obviously, right? So that's how they made. So of course, my first place was my wife. I tried always she was happy. Okay, you know. Second of three, and Louis guy. So he's so cool. It's me actually. And that's my team. Okay. If you look at my key, I have some abrasion here on this canal. So I cannot take hydrogen peroxide. I never try it. Okay, so it's very one weakness. So look at this. I had some abrasions here. Some more closer see this. Okay. So this video we can see I asked my tense member operator at 12 and this is how it is. This is the click, I guess. Yeah. And she just mixes it. With 2 syringes, he just mix it. We get it all into one. Once you mix it with one, you get it like okay. So he used a cut suction tip, high vacuum, and we just suck it out. The applications
is celebrate. Swiss Post. Is
when you are on the operator, you're actually threatening all your assistants around. That's what I'm doing. This is not nice. I didn't like the light. So you have to click this, that. See to we jump to one technique I will tell you, whenever you're doing a bleach, don't let the patient do the scaling today and come for the bleach the next day. They will not come. Because frankly, 70% of it is taken out by this, by the scaling. Because the patient, once the extrinsic stages are gone, they gotta feel unhappy. I just paid $1,000 a day. This is enough. Why should I pay extra? So that's the thing. So always do everything on the check. Okay, and a picture, photo map everything you do before and after. That is very, very important. Okay, and this is my next case. Okay, see this, see, from there to here, and BlancOne CLICK. So if you see in all these cases, including mine, something you don't notice. Okay, there's nice taste. I have no complaint. Patient has no complaint. Just because I document everything with the macro lids, I own something there. And I immediately called it. You know what? I see, look at the tissue color. Can you see there's a slight dark? Over here, I do for this patient, but patient will never complain. And it will reverse it under just in 2 or 3 days. Nothing to worry about. But I tell you what. Right. This guy is from Germany. He's a P6. I come to that because of the light. This guy just from Germany. He's a pilot. He flies for Lufthansa. So every year he's in India. He stays very close to my practice. So this guy, I did a bleach, and this guy is he religiously follows our protocol. You will see it's maintained very well. Every year he comes, and this time when I tried bleaching on him, there was no shapes in the tissue color. Okay? And this guy maintains it so well. He says, I'm very clear with my diet, as he said, just white diet, contributed food alone. But our patients, that's the problem. We come to that. This guy, I did not see any change in the scum. When I spoke to him, he said, I hardly find this in Italy. Then I understood our patients are all Indians and we are melon. Right? So we get this little bit of discoloration on the gingiva. So I understood. But anyway, that's reverses. You don't have to worry about it. If you are really bothered, probably you can apply a gingival barrier. And till then I was only using the cheek retractor. I did not get the lip retract. So I understood that the lip retract was mandated. Then I immediately called Casey. I said, I want the lip retract and the face sheet. I want the patient to go half fan. That wear them all, you're clear. No lip discoloration, no face discoloration, all fine. Just you get a beautiful teeth. Whitening, maybe a little bit of gingiva discolorations, they don't actually bother. So I don't actually, to be honest, I don't apply the gel curry. But if you are concerned about the patient and you think that patient is or someone will be concerned, we can apply it to panic.
Okay. Such a darker for streets. After decay.
Lighter, yeah, that's what. It is reversible. Not even 3 weeks. I think 5 days I didn't have one of the patients. So it stays so
They say problems, say patients, it's easier now. Okay, because the PR closet blocks it. So they say you have some issues. Yeah, no.
So my patients never complained. I just had one patient who followed up after a week and it was gone. So I had to leave it. Shit. I didn't even ask her, do we have a deep pigmentation and scare them off. So just throw them in water. So that's why I started using the cheek retractor. It's a cheek retractor with the lip retractor and with the space sheet. So this is my arm again. So without this I don't do a please. And one important step, what I would like to tell you guys, I think most of you are using the Beta Pan Classic Shade Guide, right? So if you look at your shade guides here, it is based on the hue. A1, A2, A3, they are all hue based. Only thing is you gotta rearrange them based on value. Rearrange them like this. B1, B, A1, B2, D2. This is how you as a rearrange them so that you see the order based on value from the higher value to the lower values. So it's very easy because our eyes are subjected to value more than hue, chroma and all these things. The moment you keep it in front of the patient, even the patient can appreciate, yes, there is a jump of here to there. Okay. This is a very important tip that you have for. And a very nice patient of me, I know some of you might be knowing her. There's no audibleness. Skip, is there audio? South. South.
Sorry. Sorry.
All right. She's a pretty popular actress down south. I know you guys know her. She's a regular patient of mine. She does all her crowns and root canal. So I just asked her, why don't you get a bleaching done? She said, I have a bad experience many years back. Or some dentist, the so sensitive. I said, just like this, you're not going to have any sensitivity. And actually, she gave a very good review. I'm not able to, on the audio. Audio is not what she said. Oh, it's other. I think she's just all bases about. She says she has no sensitivity post-op, and she was really playing this, and she was really excited of the treatment. So it's very comfortable for the patient. That's what I like, my patients don't complain of anything and, because that's the thing. They think they're coming to a parlor most of the days. When they come in for whitening, for them in their head, it's I'm just whitening by day. Why am I getting sensitivity? Even a little bit of sensitivity is something which they cannot take it. So if I'm giving them hydrogen peroxide and creating some sensitivity, telling them we get through reverse in few days, they're not going happy out of my clinic. I realized this over a period of time. I don't see that at all. All right? I follow these protocols. I clean polish the teeth properly with the oil-free and fluoride-free polishing paste. Why oil-free? I want the beaks to penetrate. So make sure your paste does not have oil or anything. The oil-free and fluoride-free, very important. Use a BlancOne CLICK and lip retract. You need a lip retract because, if the lip gets a discoloration or a tan, that's going to be visible. So that's important. Then I mix it properly and I apply it. I place the lamps very close by centimeters to 10 centimeters, somebody said. And we say for 8 to 10 minutes, each cycle. So maximum 2-3 cycles is what I do. And we get a good result. It's a stir result. And someone was asking me if you have white spots. She had a little bit of white spots that gets little exaggerated, as he said, you just have to tell the patient what good is that cover. But ideally, what I tell that he can let's do veneers, that's I can just block it. That's me. No, so precisely. So she's so. So same next, just to repeat. Sorry about that. Now, for non-Viking bleaching, we saw about Viking bleach. It is smooth, no post-op sensitivity, my patients are comfortable. I have no issues. Now, what non-Viking bleaching? I don't know how many of you practice non-Viking bleaching. How many of you do non-Viking bleaching? Seriously, 1, 2, yes, of course, Pratik, Star or Tiger Bear is here. Anybody else? Yeah. 2, 3. Okay, so non-Viking bleaching, the guys who are not doing it, I tell you, one treasure in dentistry distance. Okay? You're missing it if you're not doing it. Because, see, I have one tooth discolored. I have so many in my relatives, many cracks who would say that I have one discolored for ages, 50 years, 60 years, they've been living with that. We tell them, why are not treating this? Oh, wherever a dentist tell you have to go for crown, I have to cut it down. No. That's what we were doing so many years. And do you think what this tooth like this with a crown, the zirconia, Emax, veneer, whatever, can you mimic the Arisa tooth, the texture, the color? Is it possible? The morphology? It's actually not possible. If I can do a non-mighty teaching, I don't alter the shade, texture, market. I just get what I want. See this? And it's like a magic. The patient appreciates, they become so happy. Within, and the excitement level they get is, and the feedback that they get, they come out of their house and someone sees them a long time, that could be an identity for them. And they go, oh, this we'll do this. All right, water rolls around. I will remove all the remnant restorative materials, clean the chamber properly with sodium hypochlorite. Cotton spell, clean it up thoroughly, make sure all the remnants are taken off. And see this, I have removed, sheared a bit of GP also. Shear a bit of GP, 2 mm below the orifice, try to take it more. And then you can use a gauge sclerum or something like that. Seal the root filling with the glass ionomer paste. Okay? Then you will pack, Now you put the cervical barrier inside. This is GIC. Glass ionomer, just put it up, thick mix, pack it inside and condense it exactly at the same time so that you have space on the label aspect. Okay? So that your reaches the label aspect from the corporal shepherd. And this cervical barrier is packed well, and then you place the breech inside, and then you close it with IRM or GIC and call the patient in once in 4 days. There is a challenge in this because it releases a lot of oxygen. The GIC or the IRM that you place on top, that just breaks off, and breech doesn't take place. You might be thinking it's happening, but the patient comes, it doesn't. Because it releases a lot of oxygen. And that oxygen can also shoot up periapically. That is why we put a cervical barrier. This is all for multiple visits. Okay? So, as I said, you keep changing it for 4 to 7 days. And a maximum, 2 to 4 visits, don't keep doing more than that. And it will be ideal to get a nice check. Complications are enamel micro hardness is reduced a bit. I don't mind because rather than going for a crown, reducing a little bit of micro hardness is not going to be a problem. External cervical goes off. And the third, addition of restoration. That's also going to be a challenge. Damage to existing composites. If there's any existing composites, better you change that. Okay? Then finally, sensitivity if it comes to contact pair disease. Right? So these are deaths. So I show you the bleach and bond technique using a single visit endo bleach. So why should I call the patient 3 types, 4 types? And then I have something like this. This is BlancOne Ultra. So this one, I got a case like this. He says, I'm not happy. My smile, this color was bothering me, and I got up. So I said, okay, this comes in. He showed me his case. And I applied, I took guidance from him. He said, just do this, do that. It was all over, but I know almost had trouble with it. He's such a sweetheart. He's keen, replying every minute. What's like, yeah. The chroma paper long back and it put it cat spread. If it's calcified, if you're sure about or complete obliterations, so that probably you can go. It's not going to filtrate. You're still worried about or that you're not able to do it and still have a towel properly and you want to do it. What I would do is I will seal it with the cervical barrier and the toe. You have to do it. If you are, as I say, to the apex. So that's where oxygen is going into the radicular tissues, right? So I don't have that issue at all. I do it like this. I isolate gingival barrier. You need a gingival barrier now, remember, because I'm using a hydrogen peroxide from BlancOne. It's called BlancOne CLICK, it's a hydrogen peroxide. So I can have tissue injury. In this case, I may block this. I use a digital barrier, open it, and I'm going to do an inside-out technique, both inside as well as labially. Okay, and once I activate it for 8 minutes, 3 times, 12 minutes, okay, and you will see a nice pros or a cheat in the color on the gel. That means it's getting activated. So it's getting activated, and this is the result within 24 minutes. The patient walks out with a beautiful white teeth. His mother was in the reception. Trust me, he goes and he shows like, wow, I can see the reaction. She was like, wow, what happened? Just because she's been seeing her son for how many years? Just a baby. Because that's the change instantly you can show to them. And you think this guy want to leave me? He's coming back. I was some digs. Beautiful result. I send all the pictures to my patients. Always do that. You know why? They will post it. Sometimes they post it in big groups. Trust me, they put it in their family groups. I got patients that, one of my friends put this in the family group. I want a result in this. I give a personal videos, I give a composites. Any case, document it, and I send to the patient because you really don't know, they might attract so many patients. And from here to here, it's beautiful. This guy came, to me again. This is nice, beautiful, everything is fine. So he says, can we close this gap? See, he's becoming more aesthetically concerned. How can he just close this gap? So I have to call back to 3 weeks. Remember that. You are done a page. Okay, there is going to be oxygen. Then there's releasing, remunerative oxygen. And so what you have to do is wait for 3 weeks. If I can wait for 3 weeks, the oxygen is completely eliminated, and then I can go for my bonding protocols. Any bonding process, let it be composite, let it be porcelain veneer, anything, it has to be up to 3 weeks. So now, let's say you got a desired result. What I want to do for that 3 weeks? I would flush out all the material out of the chamber. Everything is cleaned off, washed thoroughly. Everything is clean. And I put calcium hydroxide inside the chamber. The normal RCKL, whatever you're doing for your root canal, just put it inside. Just to make the, just to make the chamber move from our acidic medium to an alkaline medium. Okay, it's in an acidic state, right? So I'm trying to make it to an alkaline medium. So I call the patient after 3 weeks and I flush out the calcium hydroxide paste. I clean it properly with sodium hypochlorite. I clean it nicely, and then we will restore it properly with the etchant. To non-metal, then you can etch it, apply global, cure it, and then pack it well with a high-value composite, right? So that you don't see any shaded colors. It's going to be brighter. This is what you do. But for this guy, when he comes after 3 weeks, as I told him, he wanted to close the gap. So I said, okay, 3 weeks, so we can go for composite veneers. And we prepare for composite veneer. Now, the beauty behind this is my preparation for composite veneer is so less on that. Let's say if it was a discolored tooth and he wanted to do a composite veneer, I would be preparing so much. You need 1.5 millimeter clearance of our composite, for a composite veneer. 1.5 millimeter clearance is too much because I need space for an opaquer, I need space for my body shade, then my enamel. It doesn't work. So what I did, when I just did a breach, hardly you'll see how much I removed. Less the point. Okay? I removed the old composite. That's why you see the space in between. I have the shells created, and I put a little bit of opaque over here, a body shade over there, the body shade over here. This is my proximal stretch from Torbiev. He got that contacts, and now enamel shade only on the incisal third. And this is my immediate post-op, and I just did a rough finishing and polishing. This is how it is. This is how it is in his mouth. So from there, it's already a bulky tooth, so we just make it the same bulk. From here to here, just tweak minimally in the waist. Okay, and just be minimally in the waist. Just over an enamel, and you have a very nice, happy dish. So remember, for each and what procedure, this is another. Even if you're doing a porcelain veneer, I am a person who thinks about a very, very, very minimal approach. You might think I can just go put a crown and finish it up, but I believe if I want to give high-level aesthetics, especially in the anterior, I think it's only with veneers. And for veneers, all the color is taken from the tooth substrate. It takes the color from the tooth, right? So how can I give veneer on a discolored tooth? So let me lighten this. I will just lighten this. Before that, see, I removed the old composite. See, this is the old composite. We removed it, went for new composites. And wait, sorry, I pick up. So on some leg, yeah. Yeah, I did a bleach. I think I put the picture of the bleach. Okay. I did the bleach and then I changed the composites, right? And then we go for the preparation and we just did 2 porcelain veneers and they bonded. It's so natural that you cannot get this with a very opaque restoration. And this is how she is. Okay, from here to here, anybody ways. So bleach the stump shade and go with, think about just integrate, non-vertical bleaching the practice and you will secure a place to the process. Okay, and as I said, any resin potting procedure is only after 3 weeks. And as I said, minimally invest to take this space and art to preserve and respect the natural underlying healthy tissues. Stop destructing a lot of tooth structure and just be minimally invasive at tooth restoration, especially the anti-rays. I'm telling you, you will love your work. Patient will accept it much better than, just going with opaque crowns. And I love the statement by Pascal Bagné. What he says is, it's not about the strong strength of the material that you go for. It's about the mechanical, biological, and optical properties of the underlying dental tissue. That determines the aesthetics of your final restoration. Okay? So think about that. Always think about the underlying substrate. And this is where I actually, I learned a lot in dentistry. This is a association called European Society of Cosmetic Dentistry. I did my fellowship. I got my active certification there. It was a nice journey. I met a lot of beautiful people, nice people, great mentors. And for me, success is no accident. It's a lot of hard work, perseverance. You need to work hard. You need to practice a lot, and study, sacrifice. And keep upgrading your practice. I see people who are doing wonderful dates in Hyderabad, especially. I don't know, for most of you, I see Pratik, the way he's doing, he upgrades his practice. Bringing in new equipments. Keep doing something like that, and that's how you grow. And finally, this is the team. Again, I learned a lot from Giuseppe, and this is a wonderful people there. Erika there, Giuseppe, Osmal, Dr. with them. And these people, thanks a lot for introducing me to this BlancOne system, and I learned a lot from them. And to be frank, don't think I'm a fancy dentist, this is where my clinic was. Okay, so many years back. So the old clinic, and of course, I know Priyam was a seatback clinic. This is where it was. Actually, 200 square feet, okay? I supplied the apparatus. Because my dental chair, just in front, I had a little studio. That took half of my space. A patient walks in will actually ask me, are you taking passport size photos, on a time? I see that additional preparation. I used to say, no, I'm a dentist. Oh, a little like, okay. But I love to document. But every stain used to be documented because I believe with documentation, I improve my skills. Because this is something you should have to show your patient. This is something that you have to look at and improvise your practice over a long run also. And it took so many years for me actually to move to a practice like this. Okay? So 12 years later, this is where I am practicing now. And if you ask, I'm not doing a lot of implants. I don't do implants. I have plant consultants. But if you ask my work, most of you think implant is the only money many thing. If you ask me, implant after implant, it is cost pretty expensive. Okay? That's what's building my practice, if you ask me, and this is where I am. This is my query center. It's in Chennai. It's called the Millage, and we have 30 workstations. And this is where we train doctors on porcelain veneers, composites, rubber time isolation. It's a pretty good master class. To our interested, you can always call a number there. And you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I'm pretty active there. Any kind of case discussions or something, you can always take it there. So, thank you. I hope I didn't overshoot. Thank you so much. Thanks. Hear the song? It's neither the longer with the previous people. So, any bleach, yeah, so it's a common list. So any bleach has additional peroxide releasing, it will react with composites, and that's why if you see our shakes, the composites. There's an old restoration battery shakes, And if you are going to go for a new composite or any particle procedures, where you have to wait for 3 weeks. So again, the shade, in fact, with shades, because we saw that when it was darkened to that composite was getting long. So once I lightened this, that composite is starting apart. So it's always better to change the composite. So I have a patient who has a composite restoration once a bleach. I'll tell you, after the bleach, you have to change the composite, and then they're okay with it. So they come back in 3 weeks and get.
Can we use any bios as such?
That's what.
That's
And even if you're placing taller respiration, you're worried about sensitivity, it's not going to be 0 sense. Because I shown in my own case, I have a deep abrasion and I don't have sense. So sensitivity is not going to be the problem. It's only going to be the change in the color of the restoration and the poo. So that blade is not going to be.
so. There are few materials which can be used with a photoactivator and without a photo. It's to say,
No, it's made for a photo with a photo. That's why, as he said, the intensity of light is what they've tuned it to be much higher. See, it's obviously every company will do that, right? Because they want you. So you need to activate it to release the iodoxin outside. So
you need to buy the articles.
you need to know idea, right? Yes. What we mean otherwise in not rate that intensity, I don't know whether we have, as they say, with Zoom does it cap that much tickets. So you have to buy the arts.
What is it called?
Using is with single oxygen is exactly targeting the composite. So you don't have any kind of tissue reaction, it is just acting on the tools and no posters on that. You saw that I just to test on me apply on the cement as well. I did not have this. So it's up to you. If you want to block it, we can.
the cement some of the
Yeah, pick up the top. Paper easy you put the guys say. Good on the pressures. You will put on that the.
You got to cement.
That's because there is no animal, but seawater.
So how long we can expect the result when compared to the regular which
Yeah, as I say, the cell immediately goes to the result is same like what you're getting. So let's say it's what you're paying, right?
the post-op sections are same as other correct?
6.
There actually like not
Frankly, you ask me, relapse, I have not seen it any openly. I can probably say that because I follow protocol. It relapse happens only if you are working on a poorly endotreated tooth. Okay, the endotreated tooth is poor, still you have pulpal necrotic tissues, then probably you might see. Most of my cases, you see, as I told you, I redo the work. I do a proper work and then I go with it. So I don't encounter, and also the post-op entrance delay, the entrance seal is perfect. As I told my X, and I go with a flowable composite and then a restorative composite, rather than just going with TIs. Okay, so go with the proper protocol and you will not have post-op. I've not done any, and I'm not rework on any of pine or my cases.
Sorry, we are not getting late. Like we are saying BlancOne CLICK and BlancOne touch. And one other thing you are saying BlancOne Ultra. What are the implications of these products?
He's going to do a demonstration, like you're going to actually Kiro the PDT, yes, also the click. So you will get to see the products. Click and touch both has abdomen gross, they say. Yeah, so it's the same, just the quantity is okay. Click and touch is the same. Click has less quantity, just one patient. And you're done with the touch, you have back to back 2 patients with the use touch. Okay, so same product. Click and touch are the same. So ultra is hydrogen peroxide. So that is what you won't really white. Right? So what he's.
So in normal case, the chase is 104 X class.
Yes. Accuracy.
It should say okay. Trauma which
Yeah.
this is like the evil side.
It does. I angulate it to suits. Okay. Patient is slightly. I usually give on the to the neck below like this, and I laser it up. I did for solid this. Right? But I have some other patients also on the side. Follow up. Echo stopping.
How much dark?
That's the by does. For a non-many piece,
Like vital.
to piece so pixeless as I was. I think it's Hyderbad-Feb. 3 seconds on it. Yeah. Publicity state. And the best thing is, as you were saying, you can actually integrate it with your normal oral prophylaxis state. So what do you do? You tell the patient, let's say for a basic scaling, for a grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 scaling, and you want to integrate bleaching along with that. So this is what will be your cost. And most of that's when we show the images, when we are starting the scale. I've asked the doctor to show some of the images, what you get very wise. If you want to add on this to the extra cost. So we just add that, is most patients would say yes to it. They will say, why not? Because most of the patients that I showed did not come just to bleach. They would have come to something else, and we slowly talk about it at that point. I think that is we need to learn a lot of business. He's the right guy for cash. I get to know more about Q2's business. Oh yeah, I tell Pike business to it. Or I've seen that.
How quickly can you rewrite it? Say you jumped up about 8 sheets. The patient still wants it to be wider. How quickly can you?
How quickly can I rewrite it? So,
starting with peroxide and or say
yeah, as he says, and even in their instruction, they say you can use it 3 times in a year. 3 times a year, 3 or 4 times in a year with cyanide done. So, let's say you have a patient who regularly comes forward in the prophylaxis. So, once in 6 months, you can keep going. Yeah. The Indian product, how much is the light?
Yeah. So he would talk about now after that because we have a very special offer for everybody.
we talk about interpreting and digestion.
Yeah. So technically, as the separator, you're literally getting the light for 30,000 rupees. I talk after the mat. Yeah. We're having lunch on the second floor. There's nice lunch on the second floor. We get finished there and come back for the dinner.
Amma. Yeah.
Speak to the way it is. You tell quite a product is like